Good first fish, and it's off! Screaming!
Last time in New Zealand Destination Part 1, we kept things local in my hometown Coromandel, where we went exploring the east coast on a full moon fishing, with surprising results. Then we headed over the other side again in the upper parts of Coromandel for a shark encounter, which was pretty amazing, and it was an awesome Mako shark that we had an encounter with. Then it was off on an adventure to a marine reserve, Goat Island. What a cool place, stunning to watch snapper up close and personal. Then it was up top to Port Jackson, camping for one night where we had a window of weather for a couple of days. And now our adventure continues. Morning started with some shallow water soft baiting, but with nothing around, we soon headed out deeper to play with the jigs.
Before I hooked up on a beauty fish, and it didn't really indicate that it was a beauty fish until I got it about sort of a few metres, probably about 5 metres off the bottom, and it peeled hard, and by the time I got the cameras on and everything, it got unhooked. Alright, so we're just slowly moving out deeper, because we're kind of looking for those big elusive fish, and Damien pulls himself up a blue cod. You got yourself a bigger one earlier, eh mate?
Yeah, massive one there.
Awesome. And he didn't keep it, he let it go. He's such a good bugger. Kind to the ocean. Beautiful looking fish anyway. And we've both been absolutely dealt to today, so hopefully we can redeem ourselves.
Conditions couldn't have been better. And then we started finding the fish.
Well, I'm hooked up on something fairly decent. I have a sneaking suspicion that it's a shark, but it's hard to say. It definitely does feel like one, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to fight it out, because you just don't know. It could be a 30-pound snapper, you know. The way it's running and carrying on, quite possibly it'll eventually give up the goose. You know, I'm getting line back on it, so it'd be nice to see what comes to the surface. It's given a few good runs and some head shakes too, so you know, you just don't know. It'll keep taking off. It's definitely yeah, whatever it is, it's sizable, that's for sure. And I'm only getting so much line on it. I'll crank the drag up as much as I can. And I've got there we go, there goes the head shakes, but it's coming up. I keep getting line on it, and then it sort of takes more, so I could be in for a bit of an epic battle here. You know, just keep playing the fish out. I mean, generally if it's a shark you get bitten off, but I could have hooked it in the side of its mouth or something. Anything's possible. It's definitely coming up though. I hope it's not a shark. It's the long battle. Good test of your gear. This is why with these micro jig sets, you know, I mean, obviously when you're fighting a good fish, whatever it is, the knots always come to mind, and I've got PR knot joining my leader to my braid, and I've got a chain knot joining my jig, and it's obviously holding up good. And that's the thing, peace of mind when you are playing out a fish like this. And I'm so keen to see what it is. Here we go, it's up to about 15 meters now. I can see it on the sounder. So yeah, definitely starting to get some headway on it. It's trying to take off, but every time I sort of hold it there a little bit, it's coming up. There it goes, it's trying to get away again. I'm not letting it run that much, okay, because otherwise I could be here all day. Certainly coming up, that's for sure. What is it on the end of this line? That's the question. She's getting close, because here's leader.
I can see it.
What is it?
It's a shark.
Yeah. Oh yeah, big shark. He's a good sized shark. Oh, what a shame. It's not going to be happy when it gets beside the kayak, this thing. It's trying to take off again now. I'm not really letting it take off, I'm trying to keep it up. So, yeah. Bugger, eh? Oh well, bit of excitement and a bit of fun, you know, but not the target species, unfortunately. But we'll try and get it up on the surface and cut it off, and hopefully we can just get rid of some of the leader that it's on it. It's a good size one, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'll just try and around.
Yeah bro, she's right here now, it's just coming up now. The jig's just caught in the corner of the mouth, what a shame. Here she comes. You can see it down there, you'll be able to see it on my rear camera. She's a good sized shark, it's for real. I'm going to end up cutting this off, eh? Unfortunately, and I don't really want to lose my jig because it's been such a great jig, but unfortunately, you know, you don't want to mess with him. Here he is. Check him out. Good size. It's like decent sized fish. Check that out. Woo. Right under my kayak now. He's touching my kayak. There he is. I could actually probably get the hooks out of this if I'm lucky. I'm going to give it a go because I might be able to grab those hooks if he just keeps still for me. So I've hooked him in the eye, and these are barbless hooks, so they come out fairly easy. So let's see if we can. Got to be very careful when handling sharks beside the kayak. And this guy here is a good fish. But yeah, he doesn't want to cooperate, obviously. Here he goes, he's trying to dive back down. I'm not going to let him.
Damien and I discussed the possibility of removing the jig and the hooks from this fish. And with the barbless hooks that I was using, it would be quite easy to do, only it meant getting close to it. Still, it would be well worth the effort, especially for the fact that the shark would end up with no jig still remaining in it or any line attached.
He's trying to dive as well. There he goes, he just broke off. Bugger! Eventually, something had to let go and it was my line, but you saw that fish? Woo! Shame I couldn't get my jig back and my barbless hooks. However, I'd say sort of he was rubbing against it. There's a bit of abrasion down my line here from his body, so awesome. Epic fight.
The further out we went, the more fish we discovered, and with a new jig back on my line, it wasn't long before I was onto another good fish.
There's some really nice sign down here, and hooked up, just kept drifting along with it. There's some better fish in here. This one feels not bad. Awesome. We've been looking for these fish, you know, and we're out quite wide. We've almost made it to the reef, sort of a couple of k's from Channel Island. That's how far out these fish are. And this one here's got some grunt. It didn't really show itself in the beginning, and now it's sort of running. And I've got some serious drag on this reel still, you know, from the shark. So unless I've backed it off a bit, but yeah. No, this is a good fish. Good snapper. It's staying deep. So I'm just trying to bring it up now. Woohoo! Yeah, boy! Ripper of a fish. Sweet. Not the real big one I'm looking for. Be a good 10 pounder. Still nothing wrong with this.
With the snapper coming up, feisty and full of beans, it was great news.
Nice fish.
And I felt
Happy
confident
with
that
that.
when I got the snapper on board,
That's
it
a
would
solid.
end up being a successful release back into the ocean where it would swim to fight another day.
Straight down. Woo! Awesome. That was so cool. So cool to see it. I can see it swimming down. It's going down, no worries at all.
While I was playing out that fish, I could hear Damien yahooing loudly in the distance, and I was keen to get over and see him. But there was such good sign on the sounder, I had to drop down again, and sure enough, another fish.
Awesome. Oh, that was classic. I just wound up off the bottom thinking I'm going to bring my line up and head up and over and see Damo, and something just chased it up and hit my jig and took off, and this is a really good fish. Oh man, this could be a kingy. The way this thing's operating, this is seriously decent. I'm in again, bro, on something real big. Mate, we're both hooked up on big fish. Sounds like Damien's hooked up too. I'm hooked up. Oh my goodness. This is just wicked. Unbelievable. Now this is a seriously good fish. I reckon this could be an actual kingfish, the way it came charging up and took my lure, or a big ass snapper, you know. Don't know. It's hard to say, but it's doing some runs. Definitely doing some runs. So yeah, awesome. Oh man, was it a good idea to come out here? You know, this is the thing, you've just got to look around and be prepared to do the Ks sometimes to find those better fish. And yeah, I don't know what this is, but it's coming up. That was the tail whack then, I reckon. Doing another big burst again and again. Oh man, I haven't won the battle with this fish yet, man. It's gone down the bottom again. Whack it. It's coming up. Whatever it is, it's full on anyway. Got line back on it. It's running around like a kingfish. Here we go, I can see leader. I got a kingfish! Woo! Yeah, boy! Woohoo! Awesome! It's a kingfish. Yeehaw! Oh, nice fish too. I'm going to keep this one. Sweet! Woohoo! Yeah, boy! It's a kingy. Oh man, great fish. Good size on the micro jig. Great fish. Look at this. There we go. Well hooked. I'm going to use I might be able to use the lip grippers on it, but it'll probably be gaff actually. Just because, yeah, it's a solid kingy. Good size to take home. I'm so happy about this. Yeah, boy. I'm trying to, there we go. Woohoo! Awesome. Not a huge kingfish, but this here is a great eating size fish. So I'm just... I get a bit of a holler from Damien, and sure enough, hooked up. Looks like a pretty nice fish too.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Giving some nice head shakes. Must be a snapper, eh?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah, awesome.
It's at about 12 metres.
Nice. Coming up slowly. We're both fishing the jigs, and we've had quite a good day out here, haven't we, mate, so far?
Yeah, it's been
A few highs and lows with losing jigs and sharks and things, but seems to be the pretty much the norm for us these days, doesn't it? Sharks all over the place. I can see colour. Here we go. Nice eating size snapper, beauty. Nothing wrong with that. That's what we're here for. Take home a bit of a feed.
Then just hooked too.
Yeah, sometimes they can be, can't they? And that's why you've got to watch how much drag you run on these fish sometimes. Awesome. Ah, it's a great fish, mate. Stunner. Dinner sorted, eh? Woo. Beauty.
The weather continued to play ball all through our morning, and with plenty of fish coming on board, we easily secured a feed of fish.
So what happened there, mate?
I actually hooked the bottom
Yeah.
and I pulled it free and then started winding up. I got about halfway up.
And the
Snapper
fish
must have chased it all the way up.
chased it up, eh? Good case. Look at that, nice panty fish too. Just shows you sometimes when they're in the mode they can be real aggressive, these fish. And that one there was obviously pretty keen.
Our time for departure from the scene was about to happen, but not before one last encounter with another taxman.
Damien and I seem to be like bloody shark magnets. Every time we've been out lately, we've been either sharked or hooked up on sharks. Damien just had the same thing happen. Look at that poor little snapper. I feel sorry for it because it ain't going to survive and it's too small to keep, so we're going to throw it back over the side. It's just the way the regulations operate, so yeah. But we're going to shift another 100 metres now. There's no point in hanging around with these sharks.
Damien and I continued to enjoy catching snapper on the micro jigs, and with one last fish landed each, it was time to head back. Our adventure for this time was over. That was pretty awesome considering I lost some of the footage due to a mistake that I made, and yeah. Great place to visit during winter, that area up the top of Coromandel. Our next adventure that we're taking you on involves going down to the Firth of Thames, and we're chasing spring snapper workups. There's some awesome results. It's the day after full moon, so you know, despite this and the reputation for the full moon being hard, we get into some good fish. Well, good morning. Today we're out from Wilson's Bay, heading out to a few spot X's day after full moon. So it should be interesting to see what happens with the fishing, you know. We all know about the full moon. Yesterday we went out and did quite well. It was a little bit patchy, but generally pretty good. So anyway, let's get out there, and we're doing a full day today. We've got a mint forecast of a couple of knots all day, so let's see if the fish will play ball. So today we're joined by Damien Trounsden again. He's turned into a pretty good fishing buddy, Damien. He knows how to catch those snapper on jigs, and that's kind of what we're doing today. We've got spring snapper workups. Well, not so much workups, but we've got the spring snapper runs that come right into the Firth of Thames past Coromandel, and that's starting to happen already. So it's a good time to get out and catch fish. Can have an extreme, huge amount of fun, you know, with this sort of fishing. And we're going to be targeting predominantly on jigs as usual. So anyway, catch up with Damien. He left a little bit earlier from the beach than I did. And let's see how those fish play ball today. So Damien and I have just stopped at our first spot X, and we're just having a little bit of a drop down on our way to a spot. And yeah, both of us are hooking up. Damien was already getting into a few fish before I did, and yeah, pulled up my first fish of the day, legal snapper, and I'm now going to let it go.
But it seems that we're just about to have an invasion from a boatie who's seen me with my rod bent over and just decided to come in and drive around right where we are. How rude. If you're ever out in a boat and you're watching this, don't come over and fish around somebody else.
One of the worst things you can do is actually come in and motor around in front of a couple of kayakers while they're fishing. It not only spooks the fish, but also alerts them to your presence. These guys had no idea what they'd done and came in to see whether we were catching any fish, which obviously we were. Etiquette is something that needs to be adhered to when you're out on the water. Show respect for others.
So you can see that this guy's just come in and he's basically cruised in, and sound of his motor, he just started up again. He's just going to make heaps of noise, and that's what not to do when somebody's sitting in an area fishing.
After this, Damien and I packed up and headed to another location.
All right, so after that little disturbance from that boat, we decided to move. Tried to keep fishing there, but nothing came of it. Anyway, and then so we're just cruising down the coast. We're on our way to Spot X, obviously, and yeah, just pulling up a few nice pan-sized fish here and there. Another one for the pot. I'm not going to keep this yet. I want to keep a couple of fish today, but I'm going to let this guy go. Nice eating size little panny, 35 centimetre. See you, buddy. All right, so we're moving out a bit deeper on our way to Spot X. We haven't got there yet, but we just saw a bit of sign, as you do, and dropped down on it, and yeah, feels like a pretty good fish. So quite happy about that. You know, it just took it. They're doing some really different things today with their bite, and this one just took the jig when it was on the bottom, and it kind of just, I felt a few little taps, and I thought, oh yeah, little fish, and then it just kept sort of holding on to the jig, so I wound into it and hooked it up, and then I felt the weight come on. And I wouldn't say it's a huge fish, but it's probably going to be one that's coming home. There we go. I pulled him on board because I felt confident enough. He's going nuts. This is a solid fish, solid eater, and yeah, there we go. Good 40 something centimetre fish, snapper, beautiful. Happy with that. It's going to taste very nice, sort of size I like to eat.
Look at that on the sounder. Look at those marks. That is some serious big fish there. Beautiful looking marks.
Oh man, awesome. I just dropped down on this fish, and it basically came up and nailed it and swam up quite a way, and I'm hooked up, and it's an awesome snapper by the feel of it. Real good one. Woo-wee. And Damo's hooked up over there as well. Oh boy, doing some nice runs. Good thing is it's nice and sandy bottom here, so it's just take your time. Awesome. That was a cool to watch that fish on the sounder just come up, and basically my jig stopped and the fish just swam up with it. Good fun. This is the spring snapper. You know, this is the time to be getting them. They're going to start to show up, and you know, great time to be out finding fish like this all around the Coromandel, especially the western side where they're coming into the Hauraki Gulf around the top and down into the Firth of Thames. So, you know, Damo's hooked up pretty hard out. He's still fighting his, and I'm still fighting mine. Oh, awesome fish. Just hooked in the lip. So we're going to try and get this fish on board for you and get him back as quick as. Beautiful fish, beautiful snapper. Only just hooked though. Yes. Woo! Check that out. Oh, that's a stonker of a snapper. Woohoo! I am stoked. Look at that. That's a beautiful, you know, probably 15 pound, 14, 15 pounder. Very nice. So this is what I love about these hooks now. And you can see that's just come out really, really easily. So just going to let this, get this hook out of the way. The fish is ready to go back. Awesome. One last look at him. What a beautiful looking snapper. You can see that. Stunning looking fish in prime condition. Spring snapper. So let's just put this one back. Now, he's going to go back pretty quickly, I reckon. So there we go. Yep, there he goes. So while I was trying to deal with my one, and I just caught Damien's hooked into them, and pulls up a nice eater. Look at that. That's a sweet looking fish. Awesome. Good fight too, eh mate?
Yeah.
They're awesome in this depth of water. Well, we've done a big massive drift, and Damien's just saying how he's going to make a cuppa. You got to see that to believe it. But he's got everything in his hatch of his kayak, and he pulls it out and actually makes a coffee on his kayak, which is pretty impressive, and that's the capabilities of these Old Town Predator PDLs. But anyway, in the interim, we both hooked up. I'm hooked up, he's hooked up, and they don't feel too bad a fish. I mean, considering we can't see them on the sounder or anything down there, yeah, great, they feel pretty good. So we've been consistently catching fish all through the morning, you know, and I mean, but it certainly started off pretty good with what we had early on with those double figure fish, and it's not over yet. We've still got the rest of the day to go. It's about lunchtime now, and here's colour on this fish. This might be my going in the back and coming home with me, or not. Depends on what it's like when it comes up. It's pretty feisty, so I think this one might go back, so we're going to let it go. That's why it felt a bit heavier, because it was hooked in the top of the head. There you go. You know, sometimes they only have to come near these jigs and they get hooked, and that's the jig fell out just like that. There you go. Nice penny, but we're going to let this one go because he's feisty and he's gone straight back down. Beautiful.
Keep that.
So Damien's been pulling up this fish, talking it down, and it comes to the surface and it's a lot better than what he said. So yeah, it's a nice fish. Look at that. Nice snapper. Woo. There's nothing wrong with that. Damien's telling me this is a 38 centimetre fish. I think it's a little bit bigger than that, mate.
38, wasn't it?
38 inches. Very nice. Check that out. This is what we came out for, the snapper spring, or the spring snapper, should I say. That's a great looking fish. Beautiful colours on it, eh? Long fish, healthy, prime condition, and caught on a jig. Can't ask for better than that. So now Damien's going to let it go. Nice fish, eh, bro?
Yeah, nice fish.
Woo!
He's off.
He's off. He's going, look.
Yeah.
You can see him down there. He's gone. Nice.
He's swimming.
Congratulations, bro. Good release, eh?
Yeah.
Sweet. That's what we strive to do. Let those big babies go if we can.
Can't catch another one.
Yeah, bro. Oh, that was a nice fish at Damien's. Beautiful. And I just dropped down because I saw a bit of sign. You know, we've drifted quite a way off our spot X. And this fish just took my jig hard out. Just came up and decided it wanted it no matter what. I don't think it's the quality of fish that Damien had, but still, it took my jig very, very aggressively, and it's putting up a decent scrap. There we go. You know, nice solid pan-sized fish, that. Good eating size.
I'm certainly not complaining. And I reckon we're in for a stunning afternoon's fishing with things. That tide's going to turn now, it's going to start coming in, and things could just really pick up for us.
Well, we're getting close to slack tide. It's been a little bit quiet for us, but and then Damien had an inquiry and then dropped it and said how he mucked it up because he was basically, you know, he didn't have hold of it, but now he's on the toe. Mate, that looks like a serious fish, bro. And the epic battle continues. Damo's just fighting this fish. She's a beauty snapper, that's for sure. Yeah, and she's just coming up slowly. And that's the way to do it. You know, Damien's just taking his time, playing it out all safely, and just keeping control, you know, as best as you can.
Coming up now. You can see colour.
Woohoo, look at that. That's a stonker of a fish. Oh, beauty, bro. Awesome. Nicely done. So there we go. Check that out. What a great fish, Damo. Great fight too, wasn't it? We actually thought that was a bit bigger than what it is, eh, man?
Yeah.
The way it fought, but no.
It's all good.
Beautiful. Got to be happy with that.
Definitely. Yep. Can't complain.
Alright, Damien's going to let this fish go. Hopefully it swims off sweet as. Yeah, look at that. That thing had no problem going. Woohoo!
He's off.
Sweet.
Damien and I are just cruising back now, and we didn't get very far. we both hooked up, dropped on good fish sign there, and yeah, hooked up on some really nice fish. And this is a great snapper that I've got here. My jig just stopped, and then line started going slack and into this fish. She's a goodie. Feels damn good, actually. Whole heap of them came through on the sounder, and Damien was just joking with me about how sorry, bro, because he hooked up. And I'm hoping that I can show you both of these fish, because he's on and I am at the same time, and there are some serious patches of fish coming through now, which is awesome. So yep, good fun. Here he is, I can see colour now. Great fish. Woo! Awesome. Here it comes. This is a nice fish. Stoked. There goes all his air bubbles and everything. Just a great size fish. There we go. Woo! Woo! Awesome. Check that out. Oh, he's strong too. We're going to let him go. That is a beautiful fish. You can see that slow J in the mouth there. Stunning. Right, barbless hooks too, which is great because I can pull them out really easily, and I'm going to let this guy go. I reckon he's going to go back really, really sweet. So let's let him go. There he goes. Woo! Gone.
And Damien's just pulled his one up just after I pulled mine. Look at that. That's a nice fish. That's even better than my one. Woo! Wicked. That is a great looking fish, mate. Beautiful colours on it, eh?
Yeah. Oh. This is a nice fish.
That's a beautiful fish, eh? And the best part is, and he's gone.
Well, we're coming to the end of our day, and what a great day it's been. Some stunning snapper on the micro jigs. We're going to have to literally drag ourselves away from the fishing tonight. It's such a beautiful evening, calm as, and the sun's still in the sky, but it's not far from leaving, and it's about 5 o'clock in the afternoon now, so she's getting a bit late. We've been trying to get back all since about 4 o'clock. We've been thinking let's go, but it's just so nice, great conditions, and this is what it's all about. It's being out here in the great outdoors, and you know, the whole experience is just so good for the mind, body and soul. So make the time to get out and enjoy what this planet has to offer. So anyway, that's it from me for today, and been an epic one. Special thanks to our sponsors. Outdoor Sports New Zealand provide the Old Town kayaks and Ocean kayak that get us to the action. Humminbird provides the technology that finds the fish. Railblazer customises our kayaks. Sharkskin protects the body against the elements. Neptune assists with the freediving. Pelage helps gather the seafood. Abu Garcia, Jigstar, Maxwell and Penn fight the fish.